Okay, I was a serious carnivore.
I'm still there.
All right, it is setting up.
But enjoy. Okay, I'm going mute now.
Me too.
Vaya, we are live, mi gente. Muy buenas noches. Bienvenido a la esquina Open Mic. Dame un segundo porque me estoy poniendo medio en my... Mira, lo estoy haciendo aquí. Okay. Un segundo, because if you know something about the Titeres, es que la tecnología y nosotros, we're like oil and water. Y ahora esto me está comiendo a mí. Okay, here we go. Dame un segundo, que lo estoy haciendo mal. Ahora estamos. Mi gente, first and foremost, on behalf of the Titere Poets, I would like to take this opportunity to say, muy buenas noches. Gracias por estar con nosotros en la esquina Open Mic. I have been looking forward to this for months. So thank you for being here tonight. Yo siempre digo que me gustan espacios íntimos so that we could share a little more with each other. Creo que el colectivo que está aquí esta noche is really amazing. I'm happy to see faces that I haven't seen in a while and voices that I love. Pero quiero tomar la oportunidad, and I'm going to be speaking a lot of Spanish because I've been speaking a lot of Spanish lately. Lo he estado practicando mucho. I want to first take an opportunity, and on behalf of the Titere Poets Familia, send our love and condolences to nuestro brother Thomas Fucoloro and su familia, que su mamá has recently gone with the ancestors, and he's been in our prayers. He's been a great supporter of the collective, a true friend, and someone that I personally look up to. And I love him, and I just want to say, you know, si necesita cualquier cosa, you know how to get to us. And we've had conversations with him. So with that, we are the features, so each poet will get approximately 6 minutes. I'm asking for everyone to please respect the mic. So if you're not reading, please mute yourself. I will be calling the next poet up by saying, Susana, for example, well, this is not an example, but Susana, you are on deck. So that's how I will be calling you. This is a Latinx community. What I mean by that is that if you want to read in Spanish, please do so. I encourage it. Quiero oír nuestro idioma, quiero oír nuestro lenguaje. Si no es español, lee en francés, en italiano, en lo que, cualquier lenguaje que tú quieras, por favor, siéntase incómodo para hacer eso. All I ask is that the audience, please, please respect the mic. Me perdí un poquito, disculpa. Please mute yourself. Tengo nota como maestro. Mira, estoy all over the place. And lastly, we are the Titere Poets, and that is a really cool name as a colectivo. Pero what we ask is that we respect each other in this space. Please bring your love. Please bring understanding. Keep your politics out of the room, please. And please don't, you know, don't find out why they call it the Titere Poets. Con mucho amor los invito. Please welcome to the open mic. First poet to the mic, mi querido hermano, Norm Maddox.
Thank you for the honor of breaking the ice up in here. Not just because it's chilly. I have a few pieces, and I'm gonna get started with this. Ambivalence. The irony is that nature will continue to be bella, whether we see her or not, whether we are moved to tears or not. She is ambivalent to her beauty and glory, while we are humbled by her presence, aún su ausencia. She will still bless flowers with their scent, whether our noses catch a whiff on the wind, or notice the breeze with a hint of, ¿qué sé yo? She will share her blues with the sky, from the darkest midnight blue to the blue that is translucent, like nearly still waters at the end of a wave. The miracle that we notice, that we are allowed to witness Gaia Mundo in all her minute esplendor, is the blessing. The solitude of this quarantine has inspired visions of how it could be if we got out of our own way. Next piece. Barbecue, not a picnic. My only crime, sir, was showing up to a picnic I wasn't invited to. Sir, my words might come out the side of my mouth. There's an awkward tilt to my head. But the truth is, they're gonna say I ran after them. And when I caught up to them, they're gonna say they wrestled the 5 axe handles away from me, from inside my shirt. They caught the 14 fists thrown from inside my jaw and the open razor blade unsheathed from behind my scrotum. And sir, they're gonna say to the court, I showed up with this noose around my neck and I tripped on it during the melee. I know it's difficult to make a point with my broken fingers going in 10 different directions. I'm sorry if my voice is a little strange and my words are a little slurred, but these last remarks are having a hard time getting around this knot in my throat. Sir, if you put my shoes on their feet, would anything about this story, about what happened, me ending up in the tree, taller than when I left my house, be true? So help them God. Next piece. A war on racism. Would a leader dare to declare war on racism? Where are the volunteers? Will there need to be a draft? How will there even be sides? What terms will couch the lies that will convince the ignorant, leave the dormant sleeping, that the lie is just, good, and worth dying for? What separates us when there are no more middles? Haves versus haves not, got versus getting got, ousted versus gentrified, thems that's thriving versus thems that's surviving, a runaway capitalist dream versus a tsunami socialist nightmare. Who will be the patriots in this war against racism? Are we the ones they've been hoarding their right to bear arms for? Will there be insurgents? Will refugees find haven in their home? Or will refugees become rebels that become terrorists whose cause is to disrupt the status quo of the other? How will you talk with the veterans that defended the losers? All of us are tainted by difference. None of us is the same. Even as twins, we are still different. It will come down to a war on racism, not between Black or white, but between the human race and an inhuman race. Last piece. The irony of the binary. Life in between has no binaries. That's the epigraph by mathematics. Like there's no one else between you and me. Like how many of us are between he and she? like there's only a closet between him and her, like there's all the rest between us and them, like there's only rights violated between right and wrong, like there's no justice between law and order, like there's nothing between rich and poor, absolutely nothing. Like there's only living life between giving birth and waiting to die. Like there's only the present between the past and the future. Like there's a whole dimension of spirit between heaven and earth. We are all extremes between hyperboles, like between love and hate. Which one gets the most likes? Peace.
Maestro, I miss you, bro. Thank you for always bringing your words. That was beautiful. I needed to hear that. That ending to that poem was everything. Como dicen los nenes. All right, next poet to the mic. Mi hermana has been on hiatus for a minute on the island, and she's been posting a lot about her adventures and sharing the beauty of Puerto Rico con ustedes. Susana Pravel Pérez.
Gracias, hermano.
Susana, I'm sorry. Next poet on deck is Tunish.
Okay, let's see. Well, you know, I'm in New York, so I'm going to start off with, and we're sitting here on the esquina. So I'm going to start out with a poem dedicated to Los Titeres. And this is about when we had the pleasure of spending time together in La Isla last April. It's called Titeres in the House, for Ponce, Profe, D-Bird, Isa, and Red. My house is filled with poets. New York in the rearview mirror as they search for homes of their juventud in a sacred secret that sleeps in la selva. They roll up in sandals and fedoras on a pit stop to forever, unfurl tattoos that read like road maps, drum black nails in a table quietly turn tambor. They speak names of towns that etch lifelines in their palms. Juncos, Fajardo, Guayanilla, Santurce, invoked decoraciones with a New York spin. We cruise on foot, past graffiti-covered buildings, los patios y huertas del Arroico, la Cueva del Mar en la calle Luisa, leaning lampposts that steer us to the sea. Everything sees verse. Tortugas sardinestes, the last sandwich in Supermax, mi sancocho. Coquis sing as evening lands. We overfill a van with our voices, head for San Juan, wander cobblestone streets, stumble on metaphors in la Plaza de Armas, where una dama hawks billetes de la lotería, un señor says limbers de parcha y cherry. Poet's Passage turns magnet on Tuesday nights, pulling bards into its bohemian womb. Red velvet walls and filigreed light bathe us in a muse's brew. Lady Lee midwife's poems from neighborhood and nomadic mouths. A cicada flutters from a shy girl's lips. A man with a lion's mane roars. Sabrina flirts into the mic, and we all fall in love. With words, with la gente, with la vida and si. We take turns spitting poems in the spotlight, lay our books on Lady Lee's shelves. The night is electric. Alchemy of rhythms as primal as heartbeats and star glow glistening on our skin. We ramble late night streets, our reflections dancing on plate glass windows, memories rising on aroma of oceans as shop keeps sweet sidewalks and clock hands point us home. This next piece is also written for somebody who spent time with me and who stayed with me, young woman who had come back to Puerto Rico for the first time since she was 3 years old. And we were sharing, and this story came out. It's called Modupwe, which is in Yoruba, gratitude. She wears an exit wound near the back of her neck, where a soft lip kiss should lay, nestled under curves of soft curls, a small round door where life might have drained. She'd misread red flags as red carpet, mistook insistence for invitation, claimed it was an accident. He was drunk, just plain bullet gliding, just millimeters from her carotid, just milliseconds between heartbeat and last breath. She wears a scar from an entry wound at the front of her neck, touches it like a talisman as she gives thanks for a meal, for the hands that made the meal, for the rooster announcing the day, for the air she breathes. Gratitude dances on her fingertips as she touches the scar, entry wound from a bullet that spared her. She wears a scar, touches it like a talisman, breathes gratitude between each heartbeat. Thank you. And I'll close with another New York poem. It's called Caldo con Crepla. Great Grandma Anna was a stout woman with peregrine eyes that penetrate from a portrait hanging in my kitchen. Her bearded love sits at her side, eyes gentle as early morning sunlight, a woven straw hat in his calloused hands just before they crossed the Atlantic. I come from wanderers, harvesters of almonds and figs, tailors of torn seams and mis-sewn borders. I don't know all the roots of my kinked brown hair, wonder what tales foremothers might tell as I pen a recipe for caldo con crepla. We mingle, migrate, cross continents and seas, reflections in the water like a sketch on wet cement, birch bark and seagrass as substrate. We mix, we morph, we meld our scaffold a mesh of diasporas, our consonants in contrast adding backbone to keep us from breaking. We are, we be, we become, submerge in the fragrant soup of existence, nascent selfhoods bubbling up like dumplings, fusions of flavors bursting with each exquisite bite. Gracias.
Susana, me hace mucha falta. So that first poem that Susana read, I remember her sharing it with me, and I could see when we got there, you know, she speaks about the la uña pintada y los tatuajes, you know, and like, it was amazing to be home, but to be home with familia. And you know, Susana has become part of our family, and she's amazing. And she makes a really mean sancocho. Let me tell you, it was amazing. We were starving, and she was, you know, she did her thing. So muchas gracias, mi hermana. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I will be in Puerto Rico in April. And then I will be there later on in the year. I'm looking to do 2 trips this year. La Tierra Me Llama. So with that, this sister I met at many different open mics during COVID, and I had an opportunity to meet her in person in San Francisco. And she's one of these poets that I love to listen to. Her voice is magic. So con ustedes, mis hermanos y hermanas, Tanesh.
Sí, gracias por tenerme y bueno verlos a todos. So I just have this one. I have 3. I'm going to do 3. So this one is clothesline. I've been trying to get in touch with my ancestry. So realize there's a lot of shit there. So clothesline. There's no time like now to pull a nala through Kashmiri mother's hands, gripping Kashmiri dhoti, stretching into the silvars of Chandigarh, and the Punjabi women who hold them, to San Francisco, fabric stretching through Russian jail cells. Hello, Brittany Griner, Pussy Riot, hijabs flowing like soft cotton bed sheets from Iran, then swaddling the 200 missing Nigerian girls, floating into a living ivory down comforter over South Africa. Across the Atlantic, it stitches into sheared baby alpaca blankets over Latin America to Peru, warming Argentina's and Chile's tortured women, past and present, they're disappeared, young, threading beads into leather over Turtle Island, Canadian, Guatemalan Native women, settling, nestling, the precious heads of Ayotzinapas and Canada's Turtle Islands, fallen Native students to San Francisco, where I contemplate my existence with how to make Indian pigments and whether to buy handmade Jaipur paper while in a silk sari, sitting in a stolen china teacup, simmering like a stick of spicy cinnamon like stolen Darjeeling tea leaves, brewing in mysterious Dasani water, boiling. That one. Between ancestors and ghosts. My relationship with my deceased mother is estranged. They say a mother's cells change once they've carried a child, and if to full term, their child's cells can stay in the mother's body for decades. This must be true for a mother's soul, I think. She was my best friend, and I was an inconsolable child, blocked out the abuse and the mutilation, took it out on the only person who listened. It's difficult to mend a relationship with a deceased person who is also your mother. You go through the independent stage, rejecting everything they were, discovering the secret they left behind as scars on your body, but then you start to remember the love. How she woke you up one morning, her arms around your belly, your back against her chest, and for a few seconds feeling immense peace. Or how you used to dream her alive, the only caveat she couldn't speak again, and you realize after years of bargaining into acceptance and healing that your sister, very much alive, was the parasite in disguise, a ghost of a shell this whole time. And my last one, for my Nanaji. My marrow, my mother, my Nana, and Naniji, feed me sweet words and whispers, shared memories from my Nana's favorite color on us, my red orphan Annie dress, matching his red turban by the corded tan phone, hanging on the wood-paneled wall. He teaches me how to draw peacocks, and I practice and show him, his smile pushing up his silver mustache, netted beard. His last visit after my mother's death, her absence screams through the house from the legs of silverfish and millipedes stampeding over the fireplace at dark. I make orange juice popsicles in the afternoon, toothpicked in ice trays. I don't give him one until he asks. I have no one, no support. I disappear into books until 4 a.m., a lonely time. I have no one and push him away. And now he gives me gifts, presents, reminding me that men can give. He gives me presents, attention. He gives me guidance, and it turns my fear into anticipation and fantasy and fancy. The end. Thank you.
Come on now. Was that about your abuela?
Abuelo,
Abuelo?
mom's maternal grandfather.
Yeah. I got that grandparent feeling.
Yeah.
I got all smushy inside.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing those beautiful poems. All right. On deck is Iris Morales. Next poet to the mic is mi hermano, who's living in Mexico right now, Luis. No te escucho, brother. No te escucho. Es el arroz de habichuela y chuleta que te estás comiendo.
How's that?
Ahora estamos hablando.
Perdón, es que tengo la chuleta aquí. Got a book that just came out. It's called Midnight Verses and Daylight Dreams. It's 100 poems and 10 short stories, memoirs from the Bronx. So I'm going to be reading one of the short stories. We were content to stay in our neighborhood, Claremont Parkway, never going to fresh air family fun, to the homes in Pennsylvania and Virginia. Once the thriving German, Irish, Jewish, Italian main artery in the Bronx that connected East and West. We're in the innermost part of a little town called Pattytown by bike-stealing baby gangsters that lived in our neighborhoods. Aside from the other well-to-do Bronxites on Grand Concourse and Tremont Avenue. Claremont was intersected by Washington Avenue, a wide boulevard where schools, churches, police stations, courthouses were planted, parallel to 3rd Avenue, which carried the L train, the electrical connecting impulse vein that goes uptown and downtown. There in the midst of car screeching, fire engine screaming, and police blaring vehicles was the theme of how I spent my summer vacation in the northernmost boundary of the infamous famous South Bronx. The last remnants of Israelites, grandmothers, and maiden aunts were left to fend for themselves and die in the forest of black and Hispanic overgrown vines, to be visited once a year by scavenger kinfolks, waiting silently on Long Island for the passing of their dearly beloved whomever, to collect a bounty of antique furniture fought over by loved ones who wouldn't understand and complain, why does she insist on staying there? The only decent place where her immigrant laborer husband could find for the Americanization of their little ones. The only place she can call home, known as home, since arriving at Canaan. And of course, there were the Mikes, Joes, Als, who being Italian, spoke fluent numbers racket and Shylock Spanglish. In 1958, it was an awakening year for me, just 8 years old, and learning at a rapid pace English and Spanglish. The year I found out I was Black. Another 8-year-old revealed it to me. I didn't know. The only colors of any importance to me were ice cream, chocolate, rainbow candies, and popcorn yellows. I knew about friends, toys, games, but not the color of skin or hair texture. I can't play with you any longer, my ivory Puerto Rican girlfriend told me one day. My mother said that if I touch you, I might turn black. What? What about the time we shared playing with underneath the dirt, near the sidewalk, under the metal gratings of our tenement building, watching and laughing at the passers-by, looking beneath their dresses and coats, laughing at the strange shapes of their bodies. What happened? Why is she saying such a thing? I thought we were friends. What does your mother mean? Thank you.
Keep telling those stories, because no one else is going to tell our stories. Especially the stories de nuestro vecindario, ¿no? Donde crecimos, nuestra experiencia. Lamento esa historia, coño, porque, experiencias así son feitas, pero lamentablemente así es que se aprende en las calles.
Bye.
So thank you for sharing, mi hermano. Thank you for always supporting us. Tell us, where can we get your book? Ponlo en el chat. Ahí.
I'll be going to El Paso, where my brother lives in El Paso, and I'm taking 5 of these books and I'm shipping them to you because I have your address, and you give them out. That's a blessing for me. I'm blessed by you guys.
So this is what we're gonna do. Tú me das 5 de los tuyos y yo te doy 5 de los míos.
Hey, I'll share them here, brother.
Vale, está bien,
Appreciate
excelente.
that.
Entonces
Thank
hacemos
you.
eso, tú sabes. Gracias por siempre, sharing with us. I appreciate it.
Chévere.
Okay, so the next poet to the mic, I don't know what to say about her. Me cae mal, me cae súper mal. No sé, como hermano mayor, she pestered me as a kid, but she has been one of my biggest blessings. She has been a teacher, a spiritual guide, and my baby sister. And I don't call her my baby sister, pero hoy la voy a llamar my baby sister. Con ustedes, I am Iris Morales.
Hola, hola mi gente. Estoy muy feliz por estar aquí con ustedes. So yeah, let's get into it. The first one is called A Poet's Legacy. I used to pull the sheets over my head, stared at the fabric on my face, recited poems for the residents under my bed, kept secrets unsaid. My brother Mario struggled to be the man he wasn't destined to be. Flame-tipped pen wrote a note one morning, ran away. He used to keep the monsters at bay. Under my sheets, I recited poetry to the moon. Wherever my brother is, may he continue to write. I'll continue to write. We'll continue to write, to survive. We believe God didn't hear our prayers. Poetry, our oraciones escogidas to preserve sanity. When a mother severs the umbilical current, it does something to her children, especially a poet. Poetic children can never die, can't be forgotten. Our arrival, prophecy, our names, legacy. Nuestras palabras te crean o destruye, depende cómo nos trate. Te atendemos con palabras de miel, nuestra lengua delicada como la rosa enmudece tu piel, ojos en blanco con orgasmo fonético. We are a paradox. We ingenious with phonic belligerence when our silence is attained by repulsive affluence. Just like La Tormenta, we will kill you with kindness, leaving you perplexed, fluxed, inflexed, unable to return to shape. Te desmantela e imposible que resucites. Nosotros resucitamos. Our words recited as Bible chapters, our names chanted in seances, con tabaco, ron y mavi, gathered around la mesa blanca to heal and lift causas. Thank you. The second poem is called Mr. Fish. I dreamt an ocean parted. A giant fish asked, "What is your name?" I said, "Orphan." He said, "Come, make a home in my mouth. I will take you to Olokun, keeper of the subconscious. I plummet down his throat, turn inside out, unlocked secrets of a fish that was once a man, who says, stay calm. I am the part of him that never dies. Dark. I'm the part of him that never dies. Silence. I am the part of him that never dies. Mr. Fish, take me back to my younger days. My hair wild and free, playing with Elegua, his Hot Wheels, toy soldiers outside my windowsill. Help me remember, even if memories shreds me. I do not want to forget. Yamaya weeps for you endlessly. You return to her, prodigal son. I remember you made me believe the world was mine to take. Mr. Fish, your hands' rough plains produce rich harvest. I remember how you tried to be the best version, how you looked at me, preparing me to be without you. May Olokun grant me memories of you to my dying day. May Yemaya allow me to feel you next to me. You saw the light in me. Padre, see me shine. Thank you. So this is the last poem that I have. It's some new shit. New shit. So yes, so here we go. Enciéndame lentamente. Fúmame sin prisa. Que mi espíritu navegue por tus pulmones. Siénteme en cada respiro. Entre el humo que volatiza parezco otra mujer. Hay pedazos de mí siempre te buscaban y entre tus labios te encontré. Soy la ilusión que demanda existir. Soy la ilusión que quiere vivir. Desnúdame entre inhalaciones. Haz mi alma gemir en cuartos atenuados. Invéntame en momentos de soledad, deséame sin razones. En el universo y el espacio, aunque intentes ocultarlo, deseas mi olor enredado en tu cuarto. Fúmame lento, mientras me envuelto en tu cabello de hiedra. Hazme creer que tu amor será eterno, aunque yo exista por unos momentos. Thank you.
Ya, no es para tanto, gente. Para tanto, ya. She's all right. Yo, who's next to you over there? Que están ahí, tiki. Hi, I see you. All right.
We can't hear you, Papa.
Yo, I'm in Bird's house, and Isa's next door in Bird's office, and all you hear is Isa in front of me and laughing. So again, muchas gracias, Iris. And we're gonna keep it moving. Next poet to the mic is Gloria.
I am very humbled to be with all you poets. I hear greatness in all your words. So I am very, very humbled. I thank you. And after the Iris, I was like, what did I do to you, Mario? She's so good. Why are you fucking with me? Anyways, I'm going to bring some, I live in Manhattan, but I'm going to bring some West Coast Chicana flavor with this poem, which actually came out of a workshop last summer that Thomas facilitated. And it's called Teaching White Space, circa 1980. The white binder paper with blue lines screams red, savage red. Red means stop. Red means failure. I want to shrivel up in the corner. I want to slink out the door, shamed by this color. The no-name English teacher sits behind her desk at Tennyson High School, Hayward, California. Only it's South Hayward to us, our Chicano barrio in this working class town. We, brown and black students, sit in a row alongside the door. We're the failed soldiers of an impossible war. Or are we the natives they deemed unteachable? Around her desk sit blonde hair / blue-eyed cheerleaders / football players, recipients of no-name teacher's personal attention. She gives an assignment to write an essay about something exciting. I'm 15 years old, a Chicana baby Trola homegirl. Dark brown hair hangs inches above my waist. My feathered bangs I cut at home, and then I lighten with drugstore products or with lemons. I wake up early every morning to iron razor sharp creases in my jeans, and then I safety pin a large Mexican flag patch, red, white, and green Chicano power, on my flared creased Levi's. Above my black Mary Janes that cost something like $5.99 at the Kmart up the block. Black rubber Trola bracelets decorate my hands. Excuse me. This essay is my first. So I write about the Cinco de Mayo parade, my first in the Mission District of San Fran, otherwise known as San Francisco to non-Chicano speakers. My handwritten 2-page masterpiece is puro brown pride, puro brown passion, that the no-name teacher hands back, dripping the blood of my people on white sheets drenched in the sounds of trumpets / horns, violins / harps that announce folklorico dancers with shiny black hair, bright ribbons and or fragrant flowers, red lips and brilliant white smiles. Long, full skirts swirl and twirl in colors that sing the glory of indigenous Mexico in the city by the bay. This no-name teacher redlines the magnificence of mariachis and traditional black charro suits. Silver insignias shine in the California sun, followed by vaqueros on horseback that prance and dance, while legendary leather lassos swing overhead. Gritos and bird whistles explode from the men and women that flash grins of recognition / belonging. Órale, compa, sigue, sigue. Ay, Mexico, te quiero, que viva Mexico. Battle cries by peoples whose ancestors walked this soil long before the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was imagined. This no-name teacher slashes angry red X's across firme vatos / homeboys / cholos, Mexicanos / Chicanos / Centroamericanos, whose razor sharp estilo showcases starch, military creased khakis with equally creased Pendletons, white muscle shirts underneath that hug muscular torsos. Winos on their feet, ice cold Budweisers in their hands, homeboys / cholos / car apreciados, whistle and holler at the line of specialty painted lowriders that bounce warrior style hydraulic powered along La Mission. This no-name teacher vomits red grammatical rage across La Virgen de Guadalupe, who blesses the crowd from the hood of a 1964 gold Chevy Impala, belly dropped to the ground, a jaguar on the prowl, indigenous ingenuity, artistry reclaimed. Plaquiazos tag los norteños por vida / con zafos XIV. Her red run-on rage spews over the enticing smell of sizzling carnitas, carne asada and spicy polla from taquerias and food carts on Spanish-speaking blocks that fill empty stomachs with handmade tortillas and ice-cold pistos to feed the longing on this side of the Tijuana border. All this I write on 2 sheets of white binder paper with blue lines that was returned by this no-name teacher with short white hair who only saw crimson, red, white settler colonial rage as the answer / grade to my passion-inspired Virginal essay. Yeah, that's my first one.
Not bad.
This one's called Beckonings, and I heard the call, so I wasn't going to share this, but I heard the call, so it's called Beckonings. Yemaya calls from the height of crested waves. A luminous moon plays in her hair. Rising tides swirl around my ankle, whisper untold secrets. Reluctant, my hands grip the faded handrails of a broken down, tilted wood shack. I am of the last tribe, a forgotten daughter, afraid to breathe. One voice joins another and yet another, a trinity of sisters sing in my ears. I cringe devoid of faith, alone in a broken landscape. White feathered birds on bare limbs, on dead trees, stare silent in my direction. Pearl sand shift between my toes. O locum, the great summonizer, the great stabilizer summons with forcefulness. Nobody knows what lies at the bottom of the sea, she says. She bids me to dive deeper than I ever gone. I hesitate. I am plunged into darkness, a nomad scavenger, disjointed awareness of a middle passage. Olocum sets at table in the presence of my enemies. Diviner of temperamental grace pulls me closer. 1 red snapper, 7 pennies, a brown paper bag. Float beyond consciousness into murky waters. O Chun, mistress of honey, wealth and lover, adores and punishes no hesitation. 5 sweet cakes, golden sunflowers, 5 shiny pennies. Chango beats war drums. O Chun dances seduction. Blessed Mother smears honey on my lips and sings words I once knew. I pray blessings into cupped hands, dipped in sweet rivers. Ancestors lean heavy on my shoulders. This trinity of sisters carry me through wet passages. I float into the Sea of Cortez where Spaniards conquered the Sun King. Seagulls shriek high overhead, generous and forever watchful. My tribe wore gold beads wrapped around their sun-kissed throats and wrists. Black-eyed warriors, ancient fishermen, revered curanderas vanished by greed. Centuries apart, I am their offering. I am their proof of eternal grace.
Wow. Ashe, primeramente. Wow. Tú sabes que ser boricua en Nueva York y ser poeta, we get spoiled because, bueno, you know, we're everywhere and we're part of the New York movement. Pero una de las cosas que me encanta más es poder escuchar otras voces de Latinoamérica. So, muchas gracias. Thank you for honoring us. So next poet to the mic, I have the amazing pleasure of being in his house.
What?
And
Dude, how did you get in here?
What you mean? Like, I just...
What are you doing in my house, bro?
What are you talking about? I just came through the door.
Dude, come on. Bro, come on, let's go. Come on. Jesus fucking Jesucristo, Dios mío. What?
I'm sorry.
What?
Should I leave?
Text next time.
Sorry.
No, go to the kitchen. Help yourself to something. Have a drink. Make yourself at home. Siéntase como en su casa. Buenas noches. Hi. Estimados televidentes, my name is Daniel Jose, Gastambier Núñez Arria Costa Suárez Ceja, Bird, but you may call me D-Bird. And welcome to my humble abode. For those who, you know, let a brother know when they're coming. Let a brother know when they're coming into their home. Yes, yes, grab your drink. Thank you. Yeah. Papi, tú eres mío. And what I'd like to do for you all tonight is I want to read an excerpt from Latin American revolutionary poetry, a really beautiful anthology that was a beautiful birthday gift by my sister, Isa Guzman, the Alcaldesa of the Sures. This series of entries is by Iván Silén, who is a revolutionary Puerto Rican poet who actually had a background as a seminarian. And so he has a little bit of background in liberation theology. So I'm very excited to share with you all some of his poetry. First piece is entitled, Los he mandado a llamar. Oye, los he mandado a llamar. Porque hay que aclarar un problema. Porque hay que aclarar algunas posiciones. Los he mandado a llamar para que oigan lo que voy a decir, para que luego no digan que no fueron convivados. No. Los he convivado a todos, a los políticos, los moralistas, las putas, y para todo el mundo que esté contento he hecho una excepción. He invitado, que remedio, también los religiosos. No se apuren, es muy corto lo que tengo que decir. Tal vez lo han oído antes. En algún bar, o mejor, en la cárcel. Lo pudo haber dicho un borracho, un comunista, un pillo, también quizás un gay. Lo que voy a decir no tiene mucha importancia, so no presten atención, aunque puede escandalizar a muchos. Pero se puede publicar, desde luego, en la última página. Porque yo todavía creo en el amor, creo en el sexo, en el placer, creo también en Cuba, en la revolución, en el sabotaje, en las ilusiones de los niños, creo en el prójimo, especialmente lo que odia la clase media. Creo también en algunos sacerdotes, sobre todo los que están en las montañas con Yucaú. Creo en todas las cosas que ustedes desean olvidar porque yo soy un inquisidor, aunque sé que todo lo que he dicho no tiene gran importancia. Porque lo puede decir cualquiera. Por ejemplo, un borracho, un comunista, un pillo, un gay. Muchas gracias. Este próximo poema es titulado por Iván Celín, Voy a escribir un poema. Cállate la boca. Voy a escribir un poema, aunque no tengo tinta roja. Voy a escribir un poema de acero que sepa fábrica, metal, fusil. Voy a escribir un poema para cambiarlo por los militantes, los inconformes, los químicos, los fantasmas del imperio, los que se llaman marcianos, traidores o comandos. Voy a escribir un poema que sepa Molotov al Che, comandante en armas de la poesía de guerrilla. Voy a escribir un poema con sangre que grite ¡Patria o muerte! A lo puertorriqueño. Al bisu, Padre nuestro que estás en los fusiles, voy a escribir un poema que sepa patria. Patria se escribe con puños, puños se escribe con sangre, sangre se escribe con muertos. Muerto está Fidel, que terminó a escribir su poema. Muertos están los muertos, los que dicen si cuando hay que decir que no. Los que siguen el letrero One Way, los que se quitan el sombrero y dicen thanks y no entienden la locura ni por qué Camilo se fue a la montaña. Por eso, santificando sea su nombre Albisu. Por eso decimos aleluya a los comandos y vengamos la república ahora y por los siglos de los siglos, mientras yo sigo escribiendo mi poema. Mientras la caña crece agria y los puños y los crepúsculos no existirán más hasta que resucite Albisu y Fidel. En todas las manos que escriben, en todas las manos que sabotean, en todas las manos, el pan nuestro de cada día. Y en todas las bocas que dicen que no, ahora y por los siglos, ahora y por los siglos. Esperamos que nos libre de la inseguridad y de la queja y también de la Coca-Cola, al viso de los débiles, al viso de los distraídos, porque tengo ADHD, al viso y nos quedamos vengar de nuestros deudores ahora y para siempre. Y como punto culminante de conclusión, los dejo, I will leave you. Un gozo en mi alma y en mi ser, pues como vivos, vivo de agua viva, al viso, vivo de agua viva, al viso, vivo de agua viva en mi alma y en mi ser. No, esa no es la canción. No, lo siento mucho, lo siento mucho. I'm going to leave you all with the last poem from Evangeline in this anthology entitled, A veces estoy aburrido. A veces estoy aburrido y me entero que han quemado un Kmart. Y oigo por la radio que en Guatemala han matado 2 militares yanquis y que Corea capturó un barco en aguas territoriales y que en un documental cubano fue premiado en Europa. Entonces comprendo que la vida no es tan aburrida, porque todavía existen guerrilleros, poetas y amantes que vierten sangre, que todavía hay hombres en la tierra y mujeres, this is an old poem, y también amantes, pero que no me acusen, no me critiquen, porque yo todavía sueño un poco más, porque yo anhelo oír por la radio desde Cuba hasta Argentina que en San Juan hundieron un acorazado, que mataron 2 marinos un domingo por la noche, que en vez de haber arrestado, aunque eso no es nada nuevo, 9 jóvenes esta semana, por ellos surjan cientos, a 60 y a 30 por uno. Entonces tomaremos, aunque usted ahora no lo crea, todos los diccionarios del mundo, todos, y tacharemos, borraremos con alegría y con orgullo la palabra aburrimiento. Por todos los siglos de los siglos de los siglos venceremos. Gloria sea al Padre, Hijo y Espíritu del Viso. Muchas gracias. By the way, my chancla's behind you. Sorry.
Gracias. Gracias por su hospitalidad y por allowing me to be in your home. Mi gente, esta fue la sección de dinner theater show de la casa de Daniel. Yeah, that's what we do here, right? And what I love about what Daniel did is that we don't always have to read our own poetry. We need to keep those voices alive, right? So that was amazing. I recorded him. I was sitting right there. So everyone knows I was invited. You know, I don't care what he says. Con eso, I just want to do a quick check before I bring in the next poet. Please, if I mispronounce your name, I'm a stickler because I hate the way people pronounce my name. So if I pronounce your name wrong, please correct me so I could pronounce it right. Radhika, are you there with us? No, yes, maybe so. All right, she's not there with us. All right. So next poet on deck will be Isa, but the next poet coming up to the mic needs no goddamn introduction. Con ustedes, Rich Villar.
Vaya mi gente, what's going on? I am reporting to you from the from my sick bay. I caught COVID this week, so I'm here taking it easy. But I'm on the mend and feeling good. So I wanted to read a love poem because I read and write a lot of love poems. And it has the ironic title of I Don't Want to Write You a Love Poem, because even while I was writing it, I was like, damn, I write a lot of fucking love poems. It's too much. Then I wrote a love poem because
love.
Yeah, all of that. So I don't want to write you a love poem because tonight there was no full moon for totem. No soft white light to compare your face or to guide us beneath a trellis of jasmine, its night bloom, fragrant wonder. There were your lips, all yes, my hand on your waist, your hair up and not up. All worthy inside an anaphoric meditation, a sonnet sequence interlacing end rhymes the way you interlaced your fingers with mine. Still, I don't want to write you a love poem because to swear my heart to full moon and lit path among old wrought iron and Buddhas and churches and bakeries seems too simple. The clave heartbeat laid down next to an old library or a brownstone monument to old Brooklyn is too poor an offering. I don't know you, but I know you. I haven't laid my head on your lap, but I already know your fingers running across my hair. A divination bomba dancing across our imagination. Nothing I write can match that beauty, even though I'm trying. Even though I could say all this without a doubt, were the moon full, an amulet recharging itself in your window. But tonight, oh, this new moon, this dark side, this father story, this sabotage, this cold walk, this misty eye, this machista madness, this electronic prison, this heart smashed to dust, this heart still swimming to the surface. Warrior seeing warrior. What fortress could I build from this assemblage into a mere poem? What I know at age 45 is that love is the smallest ocean to cross. The moon, visible and not, draws out the whole sea. White God, fickle as low or high, she will do what she pleases. I'm not ever writing you a love poem to the whims of a full moon, dangerous as she warns me she is. No, I'll find a better danger, a better dark place between the shadow and the soul, a soil rich enough to plant my bounty from which to grow my own night blooming jasmine. I'll build you an altar of chicken bones and tin ceilings and place it along the Gowanus Canal. I'll make incense out of cigarette smoke. I'll give you offerings of clock faces, second hands, the math of sunlight, latitude, longitude. I'll give you my only currency. The time now is 3:41 a.m. You should know my 20 years, my never left and never got away, my destination. I plan to sleep till noon. You and I are going to be okay. Put them all down. No poems, but the finest timepieces. I'll have your dark side for a compass, your mouth for a new moon.
Mi gente, muy buenas noches. This is La Esquina Open Mic. Mi hermano, see, I'm spoiled because I get to see these poems first, and I'm in the background kind of like dying with every line. But Rich is one of, not because he's my best friend or anything like that, but he's his imagery and his how he puts scenes together are just epic, and I've learned a lot from him throughout the years. Hope you're feeling better. I will miss you tomorrow. The Titere poets have lasted a very long time without getting COVID. And I think Anthony's the only one, y que Dios lo bendiga. And Anthony's doing something around there somewhere.
Anthony's probably doing some kind of ancient Taino medicine that's keeping him from getting
yeah, he's
while I'm over here like,
amazing artist. He does a lot of my jewelry, a lot of our jewelry actually. Yeah, so next poet to the mic needs no introduction. And I will get the hell out of this seat because there's a bunch of us in this house. Con ustedes. One of my soulmates, one of the loves of my life, Isa Guzman.
I snuck in through the window just for the record. Hi everyone, it's lovely to be here with all of you tonight. It's been lovely hearing all of your pieces. I'm gonna recite from my recent chapbook I'm trying to get out there. It has been long listed for another prize. That is my third. So I'm just trying to get this fucker published somewhere so it can be out in the world. And I'll be reciting 3 poems from it. The book itself is called Diez Espadas. It is about the recent trip we had to Puerto Rico, which was the first time I had been back over there after about 10 years. Via PR. Thank you, Mario. Via PR 152. 2.5 hours of night. We went the long way. 2 roads diverged in Carolina, and we went right. An accident through Santurce, Guanabo, Cantaño, Bayamón. An accident of abandoned buildings on nearly every block. Empty storefronts selling enredadas de kudzu, graffiti tags that transfigured into sleeping gallos when no one was looking. An accident of empty lanes that might as well be a maze. Or were we dream lost to the humidity of wandering tears? Or were we just misreading the GPS? An accident of mountains with streaks of ancestors waiting for us to sing our nightly song of Que canta mi gente from our New Eurekan souls. And an accident of promiscuously shy signs to gentlemen clubs, peeking behind Panamas or tetas right in your face, and an offering of bodies because an offering of bodies is all that is left. An accident of nodding off on the front passenger seat, of missing out on the possibility of silence beyond the car engine, just the silence of an empty field where starving horses starve. And somehow, with a sigh, we managed to Juana Diaz through a winding road of commercialized Santeria and Old Testament streets names planted with 1,000,000 crosses, right to the doorstep of La Casita Blanca, and a balcony where legatijos get drunk off mosquitoes, and soon, nuestra sangre. My second poem, Donde hay poesía. Era sábado, and the sun came through the bars which lined perfectly with the window's frame. We went early to Ponce to role-play tourists at Parque de Bombas, inundado con pensamientos, of the what's to come and what to remember, of what's remembered and all this forgetting. We were greeted with red and fountain water, con estatuas greeting us like tourists with wise words of stone, only stone. I am stuck, a stranger, in the middle of all things. I am a storm that doesn't want to rain, a face that doesn't want to cry. I am already exhausted with the sameness of life. The fires are still the same, and so are most of the trucks. In the nothing changes, we wander past the many homeless with cancer walking in their stomachs. In the nothing changes, we take pictures with anything resembling the Puerto Rican flag. In the nothing changes, we wander into La Tienda de Recuerdos, that doesn't sell memories, but definitely sells cheap candy and walking sticks with imitation Taino spirits or wooden African figurines, a recognition without recognition. There are too many words here, yet everything is wordless. However, something is still grounding me here. The plaza is mostly empty for all except the artisans. And the few words that do seem to float in air are the green of distant mountains, or the blacks of changos darting from streetlight to streetlight, like periods that refuse to claim the end of a sentence. Maybe there is a truth to stand in front of. Donde hay emoción, hay arte. Donde hay arte, hay vida. Donde hay vida, hay esperanza. Donde hay esperanza, hay redención. And my last piece will be a tribute poem to Susana. I wrote this after we had spent some time in Santurce. Santurce is the hometown of my father, who grew up in El Fanguito that used to be there, that is now a park and a highway. The poet leads me through Santurce. To Susana. The poet leads me through Santurce, my father's birthplace, and the streets are obviously different from the nearly 80-something years he felt out of his mother. The sense of the familiar steers my eyes through the beautiful ruins of abandoned buildings where Spanish architecture reminisces of ancient coquís, y el tremendo color de la pintura of graffiti scattered across all these bones. The poet leads me through Santurce, where the possibility for a different life is clear. Mano en mano, el pueblo se reunite in the ruins of a storm to form a center where a garden can grow. Y la música suena with dancers sweating into murals, more brilliant than any skyscraper on the planet. Mano en mano, el pueblo se reúne to sing a new history that puts them, us, first. And learning becomes the heart of all things. The poet leads me through Santurce, and as we walk the beach, you tell us of sea turtles, where the nests house los niños soñando in their eggs, waiting for moons to lead their way back to the ocean, where, in the future, they will return, no matter where they have gone, remembering each grain, even if the beach is washed away. And it all makes sense why I am here, and the peace that comes like waves slashing up the shore. Everywhere here feels like home. Thank you so much. Go back out the window.
Mi gente, listen, go to Puerto Rico. There's evidence. It's gonna make you right. You know, go back home. Go back to ancestral roots. A la tierra que nos vio nacer, right? I know for me, when I came back from Puerto Rico, I wrote a ton of stuff. And if you know anything about me, Puerto Rico is always in my poetry. It's what I write about familia. Yeah, go home. Go root yourself in those holy places, you know, in the towns that you grew up in. Go with familia. My second trip to Puerto Rico this year is going to be alone. I'm going on a spiritual journey out there on the island. So I'm looking forward to it. Next poet to the mic. I met the sister at Lincoln Center last August. She is an amazing, she got nominated last year, I think for Best Female Rapera Mexicana. With you guys, Audrey Bustos, aka Audrey Funk.
Yay. Hey everyone, hola a todos. How are you? I'm so nervous because I'm always performing, but like singing my songs and rapping my songs, so now it's a little bit different. So thank you so much for having me, Titere. Gracias. My art is only in Spanish, so vamos a darle. And I'm gonna do this. And this se llama Selva. Dice, me vine a sanar a la selva, entendí que mi tiempo no es el tiempo del mundo, que por más que intentara deshacerme de la rutina no podía. La ansiedad es la monotonía de quien quiere quedar bien con todo el mundo, de quien quiere quedar bien con las divisas y usos. Me vine a sanar a la selva y con agua de un río sané toda mi sal, lloré todo el pasado y me convertí en tiempo, que no es tu tiempo ni el tiempo del mundo. Es lo mío, paso a pasito, quedito, muy bajito. Hasta donde quiera yo te explico que forzar el sonido me hizo apreciar el silencio, que la calma se hizo hasta que en segundos no hice de mí el tiempo del mundo. Vine a la selva a sanarme con el ruido de los grillos, con el aullar de los monos, con los sonidos que solo un alma calma aprecia. Sigo buscando entre las posibilidades la de nunca más regresar. Pero las notas ganan, se caen como diluvio, mojan mis ganas de gritarle al mundo la felicidad que me diste, que me da tenerme en este momento preciso entre tanto verde, entre este calor húmedo que empapa mi ropa, entre este mar de fe y anhelo porque todo salga bien, entre la posibilidad de que un día no tenga que hacer una pausa para sentirme plena, y por eso me vine a sanar a la selva. That's the first one. Thank you. So, el siguiente, the next one, se llama Despojo. Es un poema que hice para... yo vivo en el Bronx hace casi 10 años. Soy de México, Puebla. And yeah, I know, Rich, you live in the Bronx, yes, say. The BX, yes. So, yo he visto cómo la gentrificación ha quitado, sobre todo, gente de mi comunidad, de estos lugares, y pues o sea, el nuevo colonialismo es la gentrificación, ¿verdad? Es uno de los tantos nuevos colonialismos. So, este se llama Despojo. Dice, nos sacan de nuestros barrios, nos suben la renta, se adueñan de nuestra cultura, la vuelven trendy y le dan cristiana sepultura. Ya nos arrebataron nuestras tierras, nuestras economías fragmentadas por sus reglas, ecología devastada por mineras, gentrifican hasta la comida. Ahora un taco se come como brunch y de etiqueta. Ay, pero eso sí, low carbs para la dieta. Nos han quitado hasta nuestra lengua, melanina en cápsulas, porque de unos años para acá, ahora es cool ser la prieta. Ay, pero qué linda la negra. Tokens de inclusión para no dar su verdadera cara mierda. Popularizaron la revolución y ahora todos se creen de izquierda. Bien revolucionarios abriendo brecha, pero viviendo y comiendo de derecha. Working class no es tendencia, es realidad viva que se tiene por herencia. Mala conciencia, no más paciencia, dejen de robarnos hasta el dolor que provocaron sus guerras. Sujetos de tesis para sus grados que dan catequesis. ¿Qué ganancias saco yo si hablan de mí, pero yo no hablo por mí? Tengo que decir lo que me duele, pero mi experiencia morena solamente interesa para sacar feria. Les interesa la miseria para hablar de ella, sentir en ella y olvidarse de ella. Por eso hablamos desde el barrio, desde nuestra voz y nuestro legado. Por eso hablamos desde el barrio, uno muy grande, uno muy bravo, uno que viene de todo el mundo, ese que tanto has despojado. Por eso hablamos desde el barrio, uno muy vivo, organizado, uno que está enojado. Thank you. Y bueno, ya el último. ¿Ah? Oh, y el último. Bueno, yo siempre me presento como poeta, cantante, rapera, feminista, migrante y gorda. Me gusta siempre decir que yo no estoy gorda, yo soy gorda, y déjenlo y soporten, ¿no? Mi cuerpo no está en tránsito, mi cuerpo es el que es. Y si mañana cambia, está bien, pero no tengo que cambiar por lo que me digan afuera. Así que también me gusta hacer un activismo antigordofobia. Y esta se llama Gorda y fue un poema que me le fue muy bien en esta última gira. Se me hizo viral por TikTok y está muy lindo y ojalá les guste. Y el poema se llama así, pues Gorda, ¿no? Dice, yo también fui de fajas, de vestidos de cortinas que ocultaban mi cuerpo, potenciaban mi vergüenza y reforzaban sus palabras. Yo también fui de ejercicio insano, trastornos alimenticios, conflictos en el espejo, dolores que no se quitan, que no se hablan, pero que te rompen. Yo también fui a la que jodían, la que la palabra gorda le calaba, la que lloraba amargamente por la escuela, las fiestas, las dietas. Yo también fui la que contó calorías, temía los carbohidratos, las salidas a las tiendas de ropa, donde la talla L solo cabía en la mitad de mis piernas gordas, a la mitad de mi culo inmenso. También me esperancé en el XL, 2 centímetros más de esperanza, 2 centímetros más de dolor. Yo también fui la que bajó de peso por su bien, a la que felicitaban con pompa y fanfarria por haber dejado de ser gorda, sin saber que mi cuerpo lloraba, mi alma lloraba, mi reflejo disfórico me atormentaba, pero todo el mundo, felicidades, ex gorda, que eso era lo único que realmente importaba. Ser la ex de mi relación más tóxica, con la que siempre vuelvo, la que no me deja, la que no me abandona por más tallas que baje. Y no es ser gorda, es la condición de creer que no merezco nada por ser gorda. Y rezo De mi carne santa viene la vida, de mi sabor enorme entendí la luz, de mi ocupar espacio me hice omnipresente. Bendita seas tú entre todas las gordas y benditas seas todas las corporalidades que se le marcan sus vientres y sus grandes piernas que rozan y sus grandes brazos que cargan todo el peso del colonialismo y el patriarcado. Que la resistencia gorda se eleve por los siglos de los siglos. Amén. Amén. Gracias.
Thank you for stopping by. And I mean, what can I say? Rich said, my dude, she's bananas. There is a literary online organization called Acentos Review. So to everyone in this group chat, please submit to the Acentos Review, que nuestras voces se sigan escuchando. Hay plataformas para nuestras voces, para nuestras historias, no importa de dónde seamos. Gracias por compartir, por ser vulnerable con nosotros. Tell us where we can find you. Yeah.
You can find me everywhere in every platform. In Spotify, you can listen to my music, Audrey Funk, AUDRYFUNK. Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. En las calles de Nueva York also, también. En el mundo, and that's it. Follow me.
All right, Mama, thank you for stopping by. Next poet to the mic. Whenever I see this brother read his poetry, the first time I heard him read, and I was critiquing his poetry. I don't know why I was critiquing his poetry. I think we were at La Sopa, the School of Poetic Arts. The one thing I said about him was that I felt like he was always praying, and he has this thing about, you know, especially when he closes his eyes and he goes on his journey as he's reading poetry. I call him El Legendario because it's one of my favorite lines in his one of his poems. Con ustedes, mi gente, Hakeem, rebel poet coreano.
Peace, peace. Greetings to all the poets. Applause for you all for blessing the mic, sharing your words. Powerful, amazing stuff. Greetings to everyone tuning in. I go by Rebel Poet NYC on every streaming platform and as well on all social media. But you can call me Hakeem Rebel Poet Coreano. So shout out to my comrades doing the work in Puerto Rico and beyond. Shout out to Soul Tree. They recently did a wordsmith campaign, which I was blessed and honored, honestly, to be part of. And so we basically submitted a minute of one of our pieces, the piece that I submitted a minute of. Several people asked me, you know, it's not a new piece, but I'll read the piece this evening so that y'all can hear it. And glad to be here sharing this safe space with y'all. And I'll just get right into it. So Rebel, actually poet to Rebel. Is he rebel with the cause? Did he come merely to get his point across here, but for the loss, like he's bearing a cross, ready to die for the cause? Or is he rebel without a pause, whose cause is not merely just to get his point across, here to incite a riot, just because intending to shake foundations with word penetration from thoughts that cause detonation in your psyche? He might be. Will he might be Chet in the Congo, most likely marooned with the blessings of Oshun, but a soldier he's not. Willing to revolt against the US for dumping toxic coal ash in Puerto Rico. Yeah, ese cabrón is that crazy. Just take it easy, says poet to rebel. You American now, Papa, part of this hypocrisy. Can it be we, bodega prophecy, menacing mutineers with no love for corrupt nations, equipped with RBP, RPG, taking shots at monarchies who oppose free-thinking societies. Unity is the best strategy to combat the insanity. We are not protected by Constitution when equality is just an illusion for those who cannot afford a solution. Subsidized fragments of broken homes, displaced by a colonial shuffle, drifting on tide of poverty, tied to sinking slave trade industry. My home is colony in debt and territory, destabilized, set aside like a third world thing that has died, said rebel to poet. Check, check, the rhythm, the treble, feel it in your veins, find the disdain of the opposition that keep wishing we refrain and remain still, not knowing, not growing roots. Blast your truth, hack the mainframe, becoming a virus, downloadable to reprogram the program, take down the beast mechanisms, break Mumia, Alameen, Kamal out of prison. This is the resistance, resisting they are now bearing witness to our deadliest weapon, our collective spirit within. Shh. Can you hear it? Do you feel it? Thank you, thank you. So I will close it with this piece. Much love to you all. Hope to see y'all in La Esquina once more. This is not my piece, but I really want to share this piece. I am the unmuted grief. I am the trembling first touch of La Virgen. I am the throbbing tenderness of a first stolen kiss. I am the fleeting glacé of the veiled beloved. I am her constant surreptitious gaze. I am the burning volcano in the bosom of the earth. I am the wildfire of the woods. I am hell's mad, terrific sea of wrath. I ride on the wings of the light. I ride on the wings of the lightning with joy and profound. I scatter misery and fear all around. I bring earthquakes on this earth. I am the rebel eternal. I rise my head beyond this world, high, ever erect, and alone. That is Qazi Nazrul Islam, DTHE, rebel poet, a late 19th, early 20th century Bangladeshi revolutionary poet, musician, scholar, who was anointed with the name rebel poet. Again, THE, rebel poet.
Mi hermano, always me hace falta primeramente. Why you went away? What happened? Yo soy feo, coño, pero no es para tanto. No, you're,
Acá estoy multitasking. Yo, so
I
organizing.
want to speak to you about the amazing work you're doing, and I want you to speak. I know that we've been trying to link up and just with a lot of things that are happening, but I want to give you a couple of minutes so that you can speak about the amazing work that you're doing with the organization you're doing it with. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm working with Urban Art Beat NYC, who has been doing youth advocacy in the New York City area, going on a decade. We're organizing and preparing to do a camp this year, this summer, but this time we're looking to go to Loíza, Puerto Rico. Why Loíza? Because Loíza is the cultural heart of Borican, if you didn't know, and also organizing with the Maroon Liberation School, more so around political education, as well as political prisoner advocacy. And yeah, hit me up, you know, if you want to learn more. Yeah, much love.
Gracias, mi hermano. And always, I love you, bro. Tú sabes que se te quiere de gratis. And thank you for being an example, you know. Siga haciendo lo que tú haces. Rebel's also an amazing musician. You could also find him, I think, on Spotify, right? You dropped off some music recientemente. What's the name of it?
The title is La Esencia.
La Esencia. Right. Who has I think I'm on
that intro, like
I think so, right?
a bomb ass intro for your boy.
Un poquito. All right. So, you know, el mundo es bien pequeño. I'm gonna tell you how small the world is. I was going through Instagram, and I bumped into this sister, and I see she has an open mic. And we befriended each other, and we were going back and forth. Iris moves to Tampa. And I go see Iris, and she's like, oh, this is open mic I go to, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, let's go. You know, let me go see what, you know, what you're doing and what you're creating down there. And again, I speak about my sister because, well, she's my baby sister. She's doing really well in her artistry, not only as a poet, but as a visual artist. And I walk into this space and I see Paula, Rebel Poet, Colorado. And we look at each other and we're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, that's my sister. And she was like, no way. So con ustedes, Paula.
Thank you, Mario. Yeah, small world, man. Small world. I don't even know. That just tells me that all of this was meant to be. You know, it just tells me that's the divine universe working and doing the things that it's meant to do. So thank you so much for inviting me to your open mic tonight. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be amongst mi gente. You know, I don't get to experience that as much out here, unfortunately, but I'm going to change that. So I have two pieces that I want to share with you all today. My first piece is an introduction to myself, my name, Rebel Poet, and it's called La Hija Rebelde. Soy la hija rebelde del romance eterno entre el sol y la luna. Nací de las profundidades más oscuras del mar al escuchar las estrellas llamándome con su pregón. Mi rumbo infinito y libre como el aire que se evapora y se transforma en las nubes más tormentosas del cielo eterno para dar vida al mundo con cada gota de lluvia de mi ser, de mi existencia. Soy Fuego indomable, irresistible, que quema y purifica a la vez con su luz y su pureza, diosa de amor, origen de la vida, los ojos de la verdad. Soy y siempre seré mujer divina, alma del universo. Thank you. That was that first piece. That's an introduction to me. This next piece is a love poem. I'm kind of a little bit of a sucker for love. So Rich, I felt you 100% on your piece. This piece is called A God of Flesh and Skin. I once knew a God of flesh and skin, a king cloaked in the most radiant and luminous self-love and crowned in the most majestic and luxurious humbleness. He was a poet, a prophet of sorts. Others might say that he was a healer through words. All that I know is that from the moment that he stepped into my world, he took my breath away. Bravo to the universe that she orchestrated this crossing of paths so perfectly and methodically. Divine timing was of the essence for this transformative meeting of two souls to have taken place. You see, a minute too soon, and we would have missed each other as our souls had not yet been aligned. A minute too late, and we would have remained strangers as our purpose had not yet been defined. In her divine wisdom, the universe knew exactly what she was doing. That faded day will forever be etched into the depths of my heart in a section which I have dedicated to him alone, devotedly honoring and titling it King of my soul. My soul recognizes essence as he would be instrumental in my life. And as he wrapped me in his arms and lifted me off the ground in embrace, the universe leaned in closely, firmly shook me, and gently whispered to me, "Pay attention this time." I had already helplessly floated into a faraway dimension where time seemed to stand still for a brief instant, while his arms offered my soul his warm protection. And so the journey began. His divine wisdom effortlessly poured over me as he patiently walked me through my darkest of days. Reflections of an unhealed part of me miraculously surfaced to the light as time eluded me in his presence and his divine love. Parts of me that I may have never ever seen had I not had the privilege of gazing into his infinite brown eyes. The windows into the soul of a king, a God of flesh and skin. Healing was our love language, and we gracefully mastered each choreographed dance and elevated our souls higher and higher into the light of growth. There are few words to describe a connection of this sort. I mean, are there even words to describe such wonders as the great pyramids of Giza and the healing gardens of Babylon or the statue of Zeus in Olympia? Not in my dictionary, but I will attempt to do my best. Experiencing him, experiencing his divine love was like roaming the most desolate desert for light years and finding a mirage only to discover that it was actually real, not a figment of my imagination, that in fact it was a portal to a paradise unlike any of this dimension, one where the lushness of the luscious tropical forest opens its arms to you and greets you as if it has been expecting you for centuries upon centuries. There are trumpets in the sky announcing your arrival as an entourage cheers at your entrance and hail you on bended knee. It is like bathing in the abundance of its majestic waterfalls as your soul is purified by each drop of divine ecstasy to experience him, to experience his divine love is to know God. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much, my sister. I appreciate you stopping by. Okay, mi gente. So we have one last poet to the open mic. Muchas gracias for coming. We will be announcing La Esquina for next month. We also have a Café con Leche coming up, which is our video podcast with two amazing sisters. We'll make that announcement in the next couple of days. So the next poet to the mic is Mario Jose Pagano. All right, so I got 3 pieces for y'all. These are all new pieces. New shit. I've been having a lot of dreams lately, and I've also been working on my second manuscript for a while. And this is Prayer to Miel y Lavanda, or Mimi in Amsterdam. The cobblestones still remember the honey of tus ojos, tu sonrisa dripping, leaving lo dulce pegado a mis entrañas. Mi chamarra suspira profundo. Todavía me cuenta de la vez when you wanted me to inhale you deep, and I was afraid of losing my breath, of losing mi espíritu to this sueño we're still trying to figure out. And all la distancia has done is flamed as fuego. You left me your eyes y tu sonrisa, so I gifted you lavanda y honey to remind you of me. This piece is called Prayer to Ahora es que la cosa se va a poner buena. Every time dragonflies hop from lily pad to lily pad, docoquis y colibris join humming a trio de los Panchos ballad, warming their vocal cords. The crowds gather in La Boca del Rio. The entrance fee is your smile. Oshun walks into the VIP lounge, sits on the swing tied to the ceiba tree planted by La Luna. Se acomoda, asks for agua de coco, leave the tab open, dice, because she knows what's about to go down. Y el vento waves cattails, tunes up los ancestros, ready to play a tribute to El Cielo, an Afro-Boricua Disney Fantasia fusion. Yucahu's silk voice whispers a call and answer, un pa atrás y pa'lante, stirring the agoons who are sitting up by Las Palmas and slowly take out trumpets y congas y cowbells y papi just sat down on una nube and says, ahora la cosa se va a poner buena. So I took a writing workshop about, matter of fact, with con el maestro y Paul La Torre for a writing workshop for Peggy Robles Alvarado, who is an amazing sister who does work. Look her up, follow her, send your work to Peggy Robles Writes. She's always publishing sisters. She's always putting us on, not because she's doing us a favor, but because when she sees gente talentosa, she gives them a platform. Please do that. And I knew the workshop was about being vulnerable as men, but I really wasn't expecting how deep we were going to get into this workshop. So This is called girasol. So, mira, if I could be honest with you por un segundo, soy un barco shipwrecked, naufragando in the Caribbean sol, un salvavidas sinking, desinflado, tratando to stay above agua, peladeando in an ocean of traumas passed down from generations who thought they knew lo que era bueno. And I'm trying to make it to shore. Pray que todo will get mejor, echoes in this tormenta que me desgarra lentamente, strips me to el tétano, leaves me dust en el viento. My tears have been trained to stay. Crying will make you frágil, fracture this dam of a man. Llorar, mira, eso para las nenas porque Titi told me so. See, you don't understand. That I still hear in mi cabeza, entierra tus feelings 6 feet, build a fortress on top. Forget a donde you buried them, be hard. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Hard, brittle, emotionally unavailable, stale, stoic. Somehow means que yo, que I, que me, que yo. That I, masculine, cannot be, should not be soft, or tierno, or comprensivo, or pretty, or feminine. Why must we always be warred to get strong? Como si being fuerte means I can't be nurturing, or compassionate, or cariñoso, or tierno, feminine. Mira, why can't I be both? This poison that festers in the shell of an hombre meanders in this cuerpo, y tengo miedo to let my tongue loose. See, I'm afraid to decir que hay cosas I want to say, but don't know how to say them. That there are conversaciones que I nunca had as a kid que todavía that mierda sits in me. That I'm a late bloomer, and I've understood that that's okay. There have been many times I wanted to quit. Tengo una memoria of shit that I never got to get right or even wrong. Want to know a secret? I'm always angry. Que los demonios que el cargo son legión. See, all the ugly I have experienced still lives in me, and I'm tired. I want to be held, que quiero llorar and scream. See, I'm tired. And for once, I would like to let my guard down, let someone take care of me. Truth be told, I'm insecure. I don't like the way I look. I don't want to feel good. All I want is to feel good in this cuerpo. Appearances could be deceiving. Trust me, I don't got shit together. Sometimes I don't know my thumb from my ass, and I'm scared to ask questions in a full of people because I don't want to look stupid. That what you see is what you get is not true. There are parts of me no one will ever know that I'm not all right. See, I'm afraid that if you see me, you might leave, that my daughter and my son might be disappointed. I've come to terms that I will never be enough. The weight of this world is suffocating, and I cry myself to sleep most of the times. Y a veces no quiero despertar. And I realize that I'm still trying to figure shit out, still learning to listen, to stay quiet, still learning how to love, cómo moverme en este maldito mundo that tells me that I should only be sharp object, when all I want to be is a girasol. Mi gente, muchas gracias. I hated that I had to close the show with that poem, but that's what dismantling and trying to figure out, what being a man is, and it's not easy, and we're trying to, one of our mission statements is to, try to dismantle that family trauma and all that bullshit that tells us that we have to be a certain type of way, when in reality there should be a balance between the feminine and the masculine. And I have been posting these amazing posts from a organization called the Machos a Hombres. I think I'm getting that right, on my Facebook page, that has been very informative. So Muchas gracias. Thank you for coming. We will keep you guys posted, let you know when the next La Esquina open mic is. Isa, would you like to say something?
No, I would like to help you turn this off.
Oh, okay. So with that, mi gente, muchas gracias. Nos vemos pronto.
Good night.
Oye,
Thank
cállate la boca, ya estoy hablando contigo, puñeta.
Thank you so much for being a great host.
Oh, hold on.
Thank you,